Hey guys, welcome to Seen It All. My name is Alvaro,
I'm Luke.
and we're basically going to be talking about movies, giving our opinions, reviews, anything regarding film. Uh, Luke and I love film. I write films. Luke is a cinephile himself, so we just enjoy talking about it. We want to include you guys into our conversations, and just we enjoy hearing everybody's opinion.
We like to see how everybody feels about films and what's their opinion about it. And, two guys who just love film since, what would you say, since we were like little kids?
Since we were little kids, I've known you for what, 10, 10
I would
years
say
now?
like 10, yeah, close to 10 years.
10 years now. Even though
Yeah.
your opinions are always wrong, but I mean, dude,
Just because you write film doesn't mean that you're Steven Spielberg.
no. It's more the fact that you rate everything a perfect movie.
That is false. Don't ever listen to him, what he says. I do not at all. And you might hear that from people. It's not true.
It's not true.
It's
more
not
than,
true
More
at
than
all.
more than one source. More than one source.
You know what?
All right, what is a perfect movie for you?
Perfect movie? Wow.
Don't act like you don't already have a list.
I do have a list, and
All right.
I can name you two films off the top of my head
All
where
right,
I
go,
feel that
tell
they're
me.
perfect films.
Tell me.
Ready?
Yeah.
You're ready? I think you already know what I'm going to say.
Look, I'm on the edge of my seat for it. Go.
Perfect. Okay, so I would say, honestly, Jaws.
Okay.
You should have known that one was coming.
Okay.
And The Godfather.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't.
You don't think so?
There's just there's no perfect movie. I don't think perfect movies exist.
So what would you? Okay. Well, okay. So maybe let's make that like objective, like, or subjective. Like, what would you say for you is almost close to a perfect film?
No. Those two are close to perfect films,
Okay, thank you.
but
You
they're
see?
not perfect films.
He said it.
No.
He said it.
The key word there is almost.
They're almost perfect, but they're not. But they are.
They're not. So, because for me, my almost close to perfect film, which is my favorite film, is The Breakfast Club. Simple story, coming of age film, one location, all takes place in a day. Different types of characters that people different can relate to. Great arc, great villain in the principal, great soundtrack. You can't beat that. But I'm sure there's some imperfections in the film.
I mean, yeah, every film, like you said,
Exactly.
is not perfect.
Exactly.
But my two were very close.
Like Jaws, for instance.
Okay, so
Like the soundtrack. Really? Can you give me a longer soundtrack? I'm kidding. I'm joking.
okay, yeah, I was
I'm
about to
joking.
say
I'm
that's
kidding.
one of the best.
Jaws is one of the
soundtracks.
best soundtracks in the history of film.
Okay, I was
Like,
about to
yeah,
say, where are we going with
you
that?
really can't beat that. No,
I was going to say, why are you attacking me?
no. I wouldn't dare. Steven Spielberg, though. I mean,
That's the goat.
He doesn't miss.
No, he never does. That's to me is honestly that's my favorite director.
Is it?
Honestly, if you look at it like from childhood, like if you start watching films at a young age and you just see from a young age to an adult like the range that he has and both what he can deliver to audiences, I think it's a hit. Every to me there really isn't a bad Steven Spielberg film.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, well,
Maybe-
directing or just anything that he has his name attached to.
No, directing.
Directing.
Anything he has his name to, I mean, there's some that are, you can be like, oh,
Yeah.
Steven, why?
Why, Steven? Yeah, my favorite is Martin Scorsese. He's also one that doesn't miss.
Man.
And the moment he was kind of within the range of like, mob bosses, with like.
But you know what I will say that Martin does that I love the best? Soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? It's like he times each song, he attaches it to a specific scene.
Yeah.
But it's like not only that, it's like a specific part of the song that goes with the scene, and I just love that. I think that he really does that so well.
He does.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm just like when I'm driving and I put like a song that reminds me of a Scorsese song, I feel like I'm in the mob.
Like you're in a mob.
Oh, yeah,
Like you're
yeah,
in. Like you're in.
I look in the mirror.
Goodfellas.
I look in the mirror and it's Joe Pesci staring back at me.
And anybody else. It could have been anybody else. You have to go Joe Pesci.
Who else would I choose?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. You probably had different choices. See, what I love about Martin Scorsese is the fact that he basically is very consistent with his lead actor. For a long time, it was Robert De Niro. and then he was his golden boy, and then it became Leonardo DiCaprio was his golden boy.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I don't know who his new golden boy is now.
I still think it's Leo, to be honest with you.
I think it may be still Leo. I just feel like it's Leo's getting to that point where they may change it, and it may be somebody else, because he's gonna be in the new Scorsese movie, I think.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he still has De Niro, which is still his. I think now De Niro went from his like main choice, still a main choice, but like his supporting choice for everything.
Yeah. Oh, because he was in they were both in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, they were, and even who.
That was a long ass movie.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't mind the 3 hour cinema. I just when we start getting into like 3.5 to 4 hours now, I'm like, oh.
Well, Oppenheimer was 3.5.
Yeah, but that was incredible. That's
Yeah.
another one, Nolan.
That was a Christopher Nolan one. Yeah.
Christopher.
But I didn't. I mean, it was a great film, cinematically, IMAX, all that, and sound was insane. I just didn't care for Cillian Murphy.
Do you think who else would you have chosen for that?
No. I think Cillian Murphy was a great casting for the role. I just don't think he should have won Best Actor. He didn't.
You know what?
He didn't
When
do
you
anything
told
for
me, okay, so
he didn't do anything extra for me.
So when I watched The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti,
Yeah.
you know what? I was like, man. After watching it, and like I had seen, we went to go see Oppenheimer together. So watching, and then I watched The Holdovers by myself, and I remember I was like, man, I think it should go to Paul.
I'm telling you, man.
I really think Paul, because Paul brought a lot of range to it. But I think that with Oppenheimer, it was just riding the wave, and it was just like he's gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, they both had won the Golden Globe, because Paul Giamatti won for
It was comedy, right?
comedy motion picture, and then Cillian Murphy won it for Oppenheimer drama. So it could have gone either way, and I just think that the Holdovers, I think Paul Giamatti just nailed it, man. I don't think there was a single beat in that movie that he didn't miss, or that he missed. I think he hit them all. Like,
Yeah,
it was just too good.
it was a great film.
But you can't tell me that you don't mind a 3.5 hour movie when we literally sat through The Brutalist for 4 hours.
So this is my problem. You know what? Bothered me with that was just the intermission. I was like, I don't need those 15 minutes. That could have just gone straight to film. Or you know what? Like how we spoke about it didn't need to be as long as it did.
No, it could have been 2.5 hours.
It was just it was trying too hard to be very artsy.
Very artsy.
A little different. The intermission when the intermission happened, I was like, part of me was like, it's done, that's it. And then I was like, oh no, wait, because there's a part one and part two.
We still had another hour and a half, and I think that's kind of what the other thing that pissed me off. Not only was the intermission not necessary, because it could have been 2.5 hours, but the fact that we didn't even meet Felicity Jones until after the intermission.
So we were like, what, 2 hours in, right? A little over 2 hours, and we still hadn't. All we knew about her was through pictures.
Yeah, we only heard her
voice or her picture.
The voiceover.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was a very.
What did you think of Honora? I know you saw it.
Man,
well deserved for Best Picture.
So I'm still missing. I think it was Nickel Boys and I forgot which other film I didn't see.
Well, I know you're not gonna watch Wicked.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. So let me make this clear on one thing. I'm not a musical guy. Alvaro loves musicals. He loves them. That's his his bread and butter. Would you say it's your bread and butter?
No.
Okay.
I just enjoy them, but they're not my bread and butter. No, I enjoy watching them because I appreciate the art of singing and creating a story, telling a story while you sing. Okay. I think that's one of the reasons why in the songs that I like, the music I like, not all. I don't feel like all songs tell a story, but those to me are the ones that stand out the most. So if you can do that in act and do that on theater, I think that's
impressive. I will say no. I don't. For me personally, musicals just there's very few I like. But
what about Disney musicals? You don't watch Disney musicals?
Give me an example of a Disney musical, and I'll tell you right now.
I don't know. Moana, maybe? or any. I mean,
you know
all the classic Disney movies are all musicals.
That is true. I mean, but it's. Damn. I think maybe you got me on that one.
I mean, because you watch them.
Yeah, I watched them growing up.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy them. 100%. I love a Jungle Book.
Yeah, I do too. That was a good live action. That was probably the best live action movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the remakes, the live actions. I mean, not remakes. I would say just the live action versions.
Oh, the adaptations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jungle Book was
the better one.
hands down probably the best one.
What has been the worst one in your opinion so far?
I haven't seen them all. I've seen quite a few, but I haven't seen them all. I know Pinocchio is down there. I heard it
it's not good at all.
Yeah, I heard it was horrendous. Maleficent is also one that's pretty low on that scale.
What do you think it is that just it's like really it's just a copy and a paste. It's copy and paste, and you get such A-list actors and actresses.
No, it's not copy and paste though, because to some degree there has to be some sort of change, right? So when they change things specifically in order to keep the IP. It's to renew the rights.
Got it. Okay.
So it's because their rights is expiring or whatever. So that's actually one of the reasons, probably the main reason why all their animated films are getting remade.
Okay.
And they have to add like a new song. They have to change something to make it different to renew the IP or their rights for the movie. So it's not necessarily a copy and paste. However, the story stays the same, right? But I don't necessarily know why some of them suck. I don't necessarily know why most of them or a lot of them succeed. Like Mulan was really good, right? But it bothered me when they didn't use their best song in the movie, in the animated one, which is Make a Man Out of You.
Okay. Oh, they didn't use it at all?
No, it was instrumental. But that is literally the best song of the film in the animated version. And the fact that they didn't use it, I was like, man, really? It was like you guys dropped the ball. And I think it's those choices that they're trying to be different and they make the wrong choices. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Snow White, I haven't seen it. I will see it just so that I can have an actual opinion on the film.
It's not on Disney Plus yet?
No, not yet.
Oof.
Probably next week, based on how bad it's doing in the box office. But
you can rent out an entire theater by yourself.
That's true. I mean, you don't even have to rent it out. Just buy a ticket. Nobody else is going to show up. But like they're trying to be different and changing things or whatever. For instance, Rachel Zegler. The reason why Snow White is called Snow White is because her skin was white as snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, that's not why she was given her name. Her name was given to her by her dad because she survived the snowstorm.
That's beautiful.
Sure. that's it. I think that's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant if it was beautiful or not. I'm sure you can say that's poetic in a sense, but it just changes the whole dynamic of the character, I think.
No, I get you 100%.
Granted, I know I've seen her in other films. She's a great singer. I don't know how well she did in this film, so I really can't tell you that it's a good movie or not.
Well, right now, isn't it rated the lowest?
It's rated it's rated less than Dragon Ball Z Evolution.
You didn't like that Oscar-worthy picture?
No, that I think Dragon Ball got snubbed. Mm-hmm. But trust Snow White is going to be up for some Razzies for sure.
Oh, you think it's going to win?
I mean, they're saying Gal Gadot may win Best Supporting Actress for a Razzie. That's how bad she was. Again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. This is just stuff that I've read. So, yeah,
that's rough. Do you think this is going to hurt their careers?
No. The thing is like, from some reason, things that I've read, nobody likes Gal Gadot's acting. I've never really had a problem with her acting. And she keeps getting films, so I don't necessarily think it's going to hurt her. Rachel Zegler, I don't think so either.
You don't think she's going to get the Jesse Eisenberg treatment?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean, look at Jesse Eisenberg. He wrote and directed A Real Pain.
And that was great. I really liked that one.
I did too, but I mean, Macaulay Culkin won Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think she's gonna get. I don't think it's gonna ruin her career.
I wouldn't think ruin her career, but it might just put like a little stump in there, you know? Like,
I don't know.
can we trust her to with a big budget? You know what I mean?
I just think they need to give her own PR person. Be like, hey, you need to not have any interviews without our say so. You know, but I don't think it's gonna ruin her necessarily.
You know. All right. I was gonna say, actually, because I remember before we went off there, you asked me about Nora and what I thought about
Oh
it.
yeah, right.
Man, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I mean, from start to finish. And you know what? I thought it was pretty funny. Like, it was really funny to me.
It was.
I found the whole situation, what had happened, and then you know, the certain people in it trying to resolve what had happened.
Yeah,
and it's just going terrible for them.
The Russians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
Did you feel like it was like The Hangover in a sense?
It was exactly like The Hangover. It was The Hangover meets Russian mob or Russian oligarchs.
I couldn't stop laughing. I thought they were great.
This group of people trying to find their drunk best friend who's missing somewhere and they don't know where he is. Yeah, that's what the movie was about. She was amazing. I think she did great. She deserved it over Demi Moore. I wouldn't have been mad had Demi won, but I think she killed it. So yeah. So Honora to me was the best movie of last year, and last year had, I feel like, not that it had a lot of good movies, considering the same, I don't know, 10 movies were nominated for every single category of the Oscars.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of like different movies, right?
I think they were just set already on, these are the 10 films.
That's
give
all we're going. Nominations. Yeah, I think
very.
So too.
I mean, like, for example, like we saw Nosferatu and
right,
really enjoyed it, but it got really, what was it? Just
cinematography.
It didn't get costume. I thought it got
costume too. Wardrobe.
Costume as well. Wardrobe. Yeah. You know, so it was stuff like that where you're like, we're gonna go through every award and we're gonna give every award to
these are the 10 that we want to give nominations to. Yeah, for sure.
You know,
this year so far there haven't been many good movies, but I feel like that's normal for the beginning of the year, at least the first quarter.
Yeah. I mean, we're still in March. We haven't even.
I mean, we finished March, but the only I feel like the best movie I feel like we've seen was Companion.
Yeah, Companion was really good. I
think
really enjoyed Companion.
That really surprised me.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. And
I don't even remember. You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I don't mean, I don't even remember like seeing like press, trailer, or anything. I think I just kept seeing like, this movie that came out, Companion. It got good reviews and stuff, and I was like, all right. And then we saw it, and we're like, let's give this one a shot.
Well, the first trailer came out, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then the second trailer came out revealing that the female main character, I forgot her name, she ends up being an AI robot in a sense. And to a lot of people felt like that kind of ruined the film or the twist in the film. I didn't necessarily think that it ruined anything. I just knew going in, I guess you can, watching the film and the way certain things were written, they were setting up for that reveal. Yeah. And if you didn't know that she was an AI robot, you wouldn't know to pick up on those subtle things that they would say.
You're right, because it was little things that they gave you to say, like, okay, she's AI.
Right. Like she was saying, like one of the characters was saying, like, oh, they're gonna replace us. And I feel like if you didn't know that she was an AI robot, you wouldn't have, that line would have
gone over
your head. Yeah. You wouldn't have thought anything of it.
There was that other line too when they were in bed and she's talking and he just goes, all right, go to sleep. And then she
goes to sleep, right? Yeah, exactly. And she goes to sleep with her eyes open.
Yeah, and then that was sort of like a...
But see, it, again, going to the fact, if you don't know that it's an AI robot, it felt like he was just being very dismissive of her, right? He was like telling her to go to sleep, and then she just stays with her eyes wide open, staring up at the ceiling, feeling dismissed. But that wasn't the case. he was telling her to go to sleep so that she powers out. So you're like, oh, what the hell just happened? You know?
100%.
It was good, man. It was a very interesting take on the AI. I don't think, like, for instance, one of my favorite written movies is Her with Joaquin Phoenix, right? And it's Spike Jonze writes an incredible script.
He's great.
He won for the screenplay for it, for the Oscar for the screenplay, and it basically showed us in the near future when it came out how attached we are to our phones and operating systems and everything, that we can't live without. We're basically in relationships with these things. So I feel like Companion was
that step above it now, where we're
right with, especially now with AI and how crazy like AI can do insane amount of stuff that they can do with it.
We're creating these almost where you can't even distinct between human and robot, and we're getting to that point where,
well, no, yeah, like even especially online, like unless you know the person, obviously, but like online, people are getting like scammed out of money because there's this woman, for instance, in somewhere in Europe, I don't know. She was scammed by somebody and who was using AI that was saying he was Brad Pitt.
That's the person's fault.
That she was in the hospital. That he was in the hospital and he was trying to get. He was basically convinced her that, and he would send voice notes, and this was all through AI stuff. So it's.
I'm Brad Pitt. Send me money. I'm in the hospital. Who believes that?
What? I don't know. People, man. People who are lonely, unfortunately. But it's just one of those things where, like, watching the movie, we're not that far away from something like that. You know what I mean? And it's truly scary, bro. It's weird.
Yeah. I'm Sydney Sweeney. Please give me money. Yes. Right away.
Oh man. What do you rate the movie?
Out of a 5?
Yeah.
It was fun, man. I really enjoyed it. I think it kept you engaged. I felt the story was good. I felt story acting. I really like Jack Quaid. You know what Jack Quaid is like to me? Like, he can play that good guy, or he could play that very condescending,
the asshole guy,
like that prick where you're just like, God, I can't stand you.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think I'd give it like a solid. I'd give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. Yeah, because it wasn't a perfect movie nor an Oscar-winning movie by any means, but it was entertaining, man. Like, she was great as the robot.
Oh, I really enjoyed. She was in Heretic.
Heretic, yeah.
Did I say it correctly? Was it Heretic or?
Honestly, I really don't know. To me, it's Heretic, and I was just told the other day it's Heretic. So I'm not entirely sure. However, yes, that is the same girl. Heretic is also an amazing movie, but that's
another one to check out, guys. Definitely. Really check that one out. You like Hugh Grant?
It's a really smart script. Script.
Hugh Grant, great. Different take with Hugh Grant, but nonetheless great. Was it A24?
It was A24.
Listen, A24 guys. Side note. They're dropping bombs, man. Dropping some good stuff lately.
Speaking of A24,
there you
speaking of A24, we saw Death of a Unicorn yesterday, and that was really entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Will Poulter stole the movie.
He was great.
Always really funny. The snobby, rich, spoiled brat who thinks
just always wants to impress dad.
Always high. But he really stole the movie, man. Every line he delivered, he nailed it with the comedy.
Yeah.
And he stole every scene he was in. Like when his mom was trying to like confess like how proud she is of him, and he's like, "Mom, shut the fuck up." And he just turns around. Like
it was so good. It was like a nice bonding moment because you could tell his mother was so like
she was trying to have a moment with him.
She lives in like a fake reality in her mind.
Yeah,
because she wants to be important too.
Right.
She wanted to be like important, and she wanted to be like, yeah, I believe in you. Yeah, you know what? This is why we need to do things. And she would talk with that voice that she was like, yeah, totally. Let's go with.
She was the one who would like kind of calm down the situation.
Let's everyone. Let's just
Right. Yeah.
let's think this through. Shut the fuck up, mom. That was great.
I think she was. I think the movie was great. What I loved about it specifically was the fact that it was very like you had your horror aspect with these unicorns, these killer unicorns, right?
And they're not beautiful in a sense.
They're not majestic in that
Yeah.
sense. No, right.
They were mean.
They were mean, sharp teeth monsters, right?
They did, and they were smart too.
They were smart. They knew, like most animals, right?
Yeah.
What I loved about the fact that as out of this world as unicorns are, no pun intended, is the fact that it wasn't your typical horror film.
Yeah.
In that sense, they weren't your typical horror monster.
They had a story.
They had a purpose to why they were there, right?
It wasn't meaningless. It wasn't like something dumb or stupid. It actually
It was, yeah. It wasn't like, oh, let's just these
We're going on
want
a
to kill
horror-
people
yeah.
and they just want to fucking
for no reason. They're just no. There was a purpose behind it, and the story flowed really well with why they were doing what they were doing.
why they were doing what they were doing, how they were connected to the human characters, Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, and why they were there in the first place and how they encountered them. It was just an all around, to me, it was enjoyable. It was fun. It was on in the same realm of Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, with like
Would
the
you-
mythical creatures.
Yeah, with the mythical
and-
creatures, but then the underlining tone of the comedy of these people placing bets. Not that happens in this film, but just how
There's a tradition to this for like thousands of years, and why things have been happening the way that they
Right.
do.
the only thing was that Cabin in the Woods was very meta in that sense. It was very like, oh, we're gonna make fun of this, and they knew what they were doing. That was the whole purpose of the movie. But this one was just like in the realm of these monster unicorns played a part, and they were a character in the film. They weren't just there for scare factor.
Exactly.
And I think that's why I enjoyed it as much as I did. It didn't suck. I didn't think it was a sucky movie.
No, I didn't think at all that it was sucky. It was very enjoyable, but like we said, it had a purpose to it. The story had a purpose to it. The reason why what's happening, why they're attacking, and it flowed very well. Like you weren't sitting there and you went, you know what? I'm not interested in this anymore. It's out there and it's dumb, but it flowed very well.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a little out there considering it's
No, I
unicorns,
mean it was,
but
but in the sense of like story wise, where it didn't make sense, where you didn't feel you weren't sitting there going, this makes no sense whatsoever. This has nothing to do with the story. It's just like a mindless monster movie, which it wasn't.
Right. What do you think of Paul Rudd? Paul Rudd I feel like he was casted
Perfectly. Did you feel like it was like Scott Lang just in a A24 film without him being a superhero?
No, actually I didn't.
You didn't?
No,
Really?
He plays a different part here. I think he plays this absentee father which I feel like is different for him. It's not your typical. Granted, that's
like a Scott
Scott
Lang,
yes,
absentee
correct.
father, wants to do the right thing for his children, like initially, like when he becomes
Right.
Ant-Man and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sort of the
you're
same
right,
thing
you're right.
here.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how that would.
That's what I felt, but obviously he's not an Avenger here. He's just a lawyer
He's just a lawyer, and not a very good one
with allergies.
with allergies. Yeah, that's true.
That's true, but I thought he was he was casted perfect for that one. I still think Will Poulter was just
Yeah, he killed it.
he killed it. Richard Grant was great too. I really like Richard Grant.
I didn't really recognize him at first.
No,
No.
he's getting old, man.
No, I know. That's why I didn't recognize him. It actually wasn't until you said something during the movie that I was like, oh, shit, that's Richard Grant.
But he's great, man. I really find him funny. Like he's really good with his comedy.
He is.
He's good.
I thought it was, he played that rich, billionaire.
That snobby,
yeah.
pompous. He's like a pompous ass.
Right.
You know?
I think he played it well.
Because he wants to pretend like he's doing good. And
Like he's doing good for
like
the world.
he's convincing himself, but you see that and then he'll start off good and he'll be like, oh yeah, let's, and then when you go against him or when something doesn't go his way, then you see like his true nature come out.
Right. Yeah, because he does it with Paul Rudd's character and Will Poulter, who plays his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who else was it? Tia Lone, right?
What's her name?
Is it Tia Lene, if I'm pronouncing that correctly?
I don't know.
Tia Leone.
Oh, Tia Leone. Yeah, that's her name.
I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, she hasn't done much, I don't think.
I like that A24 does that sometimes. Like, there's people we haven't seen in a while, and then they bring them back.
Well, I like that A24, does that. I also like that they don't set themselves up to be a specific type of film.
No, never.
Like a specific genre.
No,
They're always... They kind of like wide range of different things.
Yeah.
Which is what I like.
I mean, I think this year they got some really good stuff coming out.
Yeah. What's
do.
another one coming out?
Is it Warzone or War? Yeah, Warzone, right?
Or is it no, Warfare?
Warfare. I apologize. Warfare.
With Will Poulter. Actually,
another one with Will Poulter.
Joseph Quinn is in that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be. I know it's based on a book. And I know that from what I saw like a behind the scenes, that they all had to go through like a
specific training,
like a basic training.
Yeah.
With the author of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I think his last name is Mendoza, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that from what I also saw in the behind the scenes, that the author of the book, who's like I guess a contributor to the film,
mm-hmm.
he wanted it to be as real as possible. So he would only tell Will Poulter and I think Joseph Quinn what the mission was when they were going through basic training.
Okay.
So that they can relay it to the rest of the soldiers the way they actually do it in the military. Okay. And I thought that was really cool. They got like real experience in that sense of knowing what it was like to be in the military and using chain of command and all that stuff.
I mean, yeah, you should know better than me.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, no. You're welcome. Thank you.
You're the best.
I try. It's been a while, but thank you. But yeah, what else did you watch? You watched The Monkey, right?
Oh, yeah, I did watch The Monkey. Oz.
That's not A24.
No, Oz Perkins.
Who's that?
The one who directed he directed The Monkey. Well, for you guys, Oz Perkins is also the guy who directed he also directed Longlegs with Nicolas Cage. If you're horror fans, definitely a good one to check out.
Yeah, I know.
He directed this one, so this one, guys, is a little bit more light. I want to say lighthearted in the sense. It's not as dark and very sinister. This one was more of like a comedy horror film. And you know what? He did it with James Wan. James Wan produced it.
I bet James Wan's good. Oh, I love James Wan.
Who doesn't? If you're a horror fan, you gotta love James.
So we saw Longlegs together. I don't like horror films. I could not sleep after Longlegs.
Yeah, because you know what it was? I thought the way Longlegs was going, it was going to be like a Silence of the Lambs type of like serial killer 90s vibe. And then the ending, you were just like, oh, shit.
Well, when you see the image of the demon cloaked in the black drape with the yellow eyes, it catches you by surprise.
It did.
And two, you're like, oh, that's what this film's about.
Yeah.
Like,
it's demonic.
It's demonic, and it's literally a witchcraft.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I didn't know it was. So
I didn't either. That's why.
Had I known that, I don't think I would have seen it.
Because the way that it was portrayed was, you were thinking, okay, this is serial killer. This is going to be like FBI Agent Starling type of, because it does take place in the 90s, so it's right. It was giving me like, okay, this is like a Silence of the Lambs. It's dark like that. We got to find this killer who's absolutely crazy, insane. And Nicolas Cage was perfect.
Nicolas Cage was perfect. He was really well casted in this film.
Wow. I mean, when the movie first starts, we were like, oh man, this is going to be. Well, he was so uncomfortable.
But I think that's what I love, because we didn't actually see his face.
We didn't see
for the first hour. We saw his image and we saw like the back of his head, And it wasn't until about maybe an hour 20 minutes into the film where you actually see his face and you're like, damn, this guy looks fucked up, like rough.
And I think that's what's really in a horror film. I think that's what really makes it
well,
the
unknown, right?
The unknown,
that's my biggest fear is the
and,
unknown.
And you know what? I'm gonna go back to that's what made to me Jaws so perfect was that we don't see the shark for like probably a good hour, a little bit over an hour into the film.
Yeah.
The whole element of the film was you're just terrified of the water because you don't know
What's in there?
what is in there, and
Right.
you don't know. And then throughout the film, they're just, with Richard Dreyfuss, who's just telling you there's a massive, massive shark out there. And the only thing that you get from him is that he just does like a range of how big the mouth is when he just goes like,
Yeah, because you don't even see his fin, right?
you don't see anything.
You don't see anything. You just see
You
like
don't
the,
see. You just see
the
thrashing,
victims, right? Yeah.
thrashing, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it so terrifying. Which is like going back to Longlegs. You never see Nicolas Cage. You just see little bits of him or just certain parts of him, but you never see the full him. And then when you do, you're just like, this is terrifying.
Did Bad Monkey have that effect too? That same element?
Bad Monkey. So what Bad Monkey did was,
The
the monkey.
The
I'm
monkey,
sorry,
right?
but he is a bad monkey. He was a very bad monkey.
Naughty monkey.
He was naughty. Don't call him a toy. He doesn't like that.
No, I'm sure.
You can't call him toy. So what made the monkey so good was that it had the horror aspect in the sense of killing, but it was just funny in the way that people would die because it was so outrageous.
Like Final Destination?
It had a Final Destination vibe. But it just made it funny because it's a monkey doing it.
Right.
And
Was it monkey possessed? Was it some sort of black magic thing that going on?
okay, so no, it wasn't. It was just like its own entity, but it wasn't like you never see any demonic presence, anything controlling it. Because usually like demonic presence, that's how they do it.
Right.
It's its own thing, like a life of its own, pretty much. And it was just funny because it was so unpredictable. And the only way it would kill is if you wound it up. You had to wind him up in the back, and he would play, and then he would choose. It would just choose whoever it wanted to kill.
So like randomly, it was just.
It was not. Yeah, it would just randomly kill people, and it had no connection. They were
So
not
who would wind up the monkey?
It was so.
Like it would be, I'm guessing, the owners, whoever owned the monkey.
Whoever had it, or if someone bought it, and let's just say just wanted to play with it, and it would play, and it would just horrible things would happen, but it would only kill if you wound it. It wouldn't do it on its own. And what made it funny was just like you just seen people Final Destination style deaths, and you're just like, this is hilarious. And the comedy was good too, especially with what's this woman say from? She was in She-Hulk. The main actress,
Tatiana Maslany, I think.
I really liked her in this movie. She was great. She played so the story's about these twin brothers. They find their dad's toy monkey. Their father left.
Theo James, right?
Yeah, Theo James. Theo James was good. He plays
both brothers.
Both brothers.
Okay.
Which was really good. He did really great as both brothers. Disturbed. They're both disturbed in their own way, but they really brought like a good element to it. I liked it. It was a very fun film. It was a lot going into it. I thought it was going to be the same thing, like some demonic thing, since Oz Perkins, what he did. And then James Wan, of course, we know James Wan just loves all that good stuff, Insidious, The Conjuring. So I thought it was going to be like that, but it actually was not.
Interesting.
The only thing that made it horror was just the killings.
So it was like a gore film in that sense.
Gory. It was a gore film.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, I would see it. I wanted to see it, but it wasn't something that I was going to run to the theater to watch.
No, I mean, I think it was more for if you were going to watch it in the theaters because you're a horror fan.
Right.
Like you wanted to go. And if you're an Oz Perkins fan, you liked Longlegs, you were like, okay, I'm going to go check this one out too.
So this one was more bearable than Longlegs.
Yeah, no, this one was not scary. This one didn't make you feel uncomfortable. Like Longlegs, you were just uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah, we were very uncomfortable.
Yeah, this one was not. And your boy's in it, Adam Scott.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, He was hilarious. I mean, he was
Why?
the first like 5 minutes of the film with him were hysterical.
Well, Adam Scott is hilarious,
He is.
but why is he my boy?
I don't know. I've always thought you liked him, and I know
I
we
do,
had a conversation.
I do because of.
And then we had that conversation about Step Brothers and Adam Scott.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
no,
that's why-
I do like Adam Scott because he was in Boy Meets World. That was, that's my
He
favorite
was?
show. He was. He played Griff in Boy Meets World.
How long ago was that? I don't even. What, was that like the college years or?
No, that was their their sophomore year, I think.
Man, I'm trying to think of when he was in it.
He comes in as the new bully, the new leader of the bullies, after the guy Harley Kiner ends up leaving the school. Granted, there was stuff that was happening behind the scenes that happened with him, but so they brought in Adam Scott to play the new leader and his name was Griff in the show. So I've seen Adam Scott since back then. So I've always liked him. I mean, Parks and Recreation was great.
Oh, he's great in that. I loved him when he got the Batman suit. That's how I felt I would react. I would cry. I really needed this.
Was that the Batman suit? I just remember him sitting in the Game of Thrones throne,
No.
the sword
They,
throne.
you remember that episode where they were like, "Treat yourself,
Oh yeah, that's what Aziz Ansari when he's like, treat yourself.
treat
Yeah.
yourself," and then he gets the suit and he comes out and they're like, "What do you think?" And he just breaks down crying and he goes, "I really needed this." I feel that would be me.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be any person with the Batman costume.
Well, it depends which one though.
No.
Like if it was the George Clooney one, I wouldn't be happy.
Oh, you don't like the nipples on the Joel Schumacher Batman?
I'm
suit?
not. You know what? The nipples was a nice touch. I like more the abs that it would give me.
Uh-huh.
I think it was more the butt. The
butt form.
the
of
butt
suit,
form
yeah.
was very perky.
Yeah.
It was perky. I like I think I'd go with like a Ben Affleck one. I like that. I like that look.
No.
You didn't like that one?
Val Kilmer for me.
Ah, that was
No, I'm sorry, not Val Kilmer.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
You call
Michael
yourself
Keaton.
a Batman fan?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Keaton's my favorite Batman, so
He is.
he's even to me he's better than Christian Bale.
I agree with
Two
you. on
different
that.
Batmans though. I know, I get it. Two different Batmans.
No,
but
no. We let's settle it now. Michael Keaton is better than Christian Bale as Batman.
There's not much to settle because we both agree.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. No, we're just saying it for the audience.
Oh, for the audience.
Yes. Yes.
It is
Michael
I
Keaton
think
is
it
better
a-
than Christian Bale.
People just like Christian Bale because the Dark Knight series trilogy was. I don't know. I feel like it pushed the envelope a little bit with comic book characters.
Because it added realism to it. It added
Right.
a real touch to it. You
Yeah.
know. But you know what? I prefer my Michael Keaton Tim Burton
I do too. That was a different
era.
That was a different style of Batman. It was dark. It was gloomy.
I liked it. It had that comic book feel to it.
Right.
Like what Gotham City looks like.
how Gotham City's supposed to look like.
And who was it? Joel Schumacher that did like Batman Forever with Val Kilmer and Nicole Kidman.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did that one with Val Kilmer too.
He did both.
Yeah, the one with Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
But
it
you
was
see,
just.
but
I thought it was just the George Clooney one.
But I like that version of Gotham too. That comic book.
No, I do too.
I liked it.
That's why I don't think. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I didn't like Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
The first one or second one or just in general?
I didn't see the second one, but the first one. Because the first one, he was great. He was an amazing Joker. But I didn't realize that I was in Gotham until he was reading a newspaper.
I thought I was like in New York or Chicago.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It wasn't like somebody's reading a newspaper on the bus and it says Gotham City, and in my mind I'm like, oh fuck,
I'm here.
we're in Gotham City.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like Gotham
It
City.
doesn't.
And I think that's what
Took you away.
I think that was one of my problems with the film. The film as a whole, I don't think it's a good movie. He was great and I think he deserved his win, but I don't think it was a great movie.
I get you.
You know?
I get you.
I also saw Moana too.
Did you like Moana too?
No. No.
Why didn't you like Moana too?
It was pointless.
Okay.
Like, granted, they're trying to make money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're capitalizing on Moana 1, and then that's why they're also releasing a live action film based on Moana 1.
Gotcha.
But this one, there was no character arc whatsoever. There
Yeah.
was no struggle. There was no obstacles.
It was pointless.
The movie takes place 3 years after the first one, right? So she's a little bit older, but the songs suck too. There was no good music. There was no like good songs. They weren't catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then her as a character, it's a nice film if you have kids. If you have kids and you want them to go watch it and you want them to be distracted for a couple hours, Moana's a good time.
Okay.
But if you're looking for a good story, Moana 2 ain't it. It's not. There's no oh look, everything's going good. Oh no, things went bad. And then you want to root for her as a character, and you don't have to, because everything goes good for her.
Okay. There's no struggle, nothing.
No, not until the very end, and that even then that doesn't last long.
You know, talking about sequels, I saw Den of Thieves 2.
Oh, Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
O'Shea
And
Jackson.
Jackson.
What do you think?
I really liked it. I thought it was really enjoyable. Like it takes place right after the first one. So
Okay.
it follows the first one. Story continues. They end up somewhere new crew, everything. Very, I want to say, they're building for obviously a third one, but Gerard Butler was great. Like you see the struggle from you see him from this high point he has in the first film into the second one, where he just nothing went well based upon what happened at the end of the first one. You see him struggling with personal life and how he's trying to be a good person, trying to be a good cop, and it's just not going well for him. So he wants to amend that. He wants to amend that sting that he got, that someone pulled one over him. That's never happened to him before.
You think I'd like the first one?
I think you would. I think you would. If you like heist films, you're gonna like this one. You're gonna like it.
I do. I do like heist films.
I think you'll really enjoy this one.
I mean, The Town is one of my favorite heist films.
I think
Heat.
Heat to me is one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
Michael Mann and Al Pacino and De Niro.
Yeah.
That soundtrack by Moby. Val Kilmer.
Moby Dick.
Who is that? Who is that?
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That was good though. I thought you were funny.
What do you plan on watching now?
Man,
What's coming out?
what's
I
coming
want to see The Materialist.
I'm intrigued by that one. I'm intrigued by that one. I don't really do like the rom-coms too much. Like it has to be something that like draws to me, and I feel like this one is drawing to me.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's Celine Song, who wrote Past Lives and directed Past Lives. 2 years ago, I thought that was an amazing film. So this is her follow-up film after that. It's Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and Chris Evans,
and it's an A24 film.
And it's an A24 film, actually. I think it's gonna be. I like romantic comedies. I'm not a.
No,
I enjoy
I
them.
want to see this one.
Granted, some of them can be very cheesy.
No, but I feel this one's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm really excited for? It's going to sound funny. Thunderbolts.
I'm excited for Thunderbolts.
Man, that trailer that they shot.
Oh yeah,
I really liked
it was
it.
really funny. I just think like had we spoken before, it feels like it's gonna maybe have the same traction somewhat of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, 100%.
Where not many people know who these people are. Granted, we already met these people before.
Yes, and supporting roles that they had, but now they're
we're gonna see them more.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan is probably the only person we've seen the most out of everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, but I'm excited. I think Thunderbolts is gonna be a silent, a sleeper.
You know what? And I liked what Florence Pugh said. She said that
Florence Pugh.
Pugh. I'm always gonna call her Pug.
Okay.
The G isn't silent.
The G isn't silent.
It was a joke.
Oh,
it wasn't a good joke, but
It
I
wasn't,
tried.
so I'm
No,
sorry.
I tried my
It didn't land. That one.
I can't be funny like you.
I mean, no, you can.
It's very difficult.
You're very funny. That one just didn't. That one went over my head.
Is it because you have hair? That's why you made that joke?
No, that's how bad it was. It went because I have hair. It went way over my head.
Oh, okay. Because I'm bald.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just wanted to clarify. She said that it felt like she was making like an A24 film with Thunderbolt.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to see how she is with the new Black Widow. That she's supposed to be the new Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Thunderbolts.
Good.
What else is coming out next month? Oh, Warfare that we spoke about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That one I'm really excited about.
Me too.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see how much we watch.
Yeah. We're going to keep you guys posted too.
Thank you for joining us.
We had a great time with you guys.
We didn't. I didn't. But
You
thank
didn't have fun?
No, I'm joking. I did. This was fun.
Good. You see, there it is. Another joke he makes. He's good.
I can be an asshole sometimes.
No, I don't think so. You know. Hello, it's Christopher Walken. I was going to do that once, I told him.
And he did it right before we finished.
We did.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Take care, guys.
We'll see you next time.